All right, let's just jump right in. Most of us think of it as just a harmless app for dancing teenagers and lip-syncing trends, right? But beneath that colorful, chaotic surface is a massive geopolitical flashpoint. We're talking about a technological juggernaut quietly generating more combined revenue than Twitter, Snapchat, and Spotify put together. It's an unstoppable machine that has completely rewritten the rules of the internet, but the true scope of this empire is something very few people actually understand.
So, how exactly did a dance app trigger international espionage fears? Let's unpack this paradox. Picture ByteDance CEO Zhang Yiming. On one hand, he's watching international news broadcasts, seeing his flagship app get banned overnight in India, literally losing 200 million users in a single day. He's facing severe national security reviews from the United States, being labeled a spy by American politicians, and taking fire from basically every direction. Yet, simultaneously, he's sitting at the helm of the fastest-growing tech empire in human history. To understand how a simple entertainment platform became the center of a global geopolitical chessboard, we really have to look at the foundational code that built it.
Section 1. The algorithm's secret sauce. Engineering addiction. The origin of this whole empire didn't actually start with teenagers recording themselves in their bedrooms. It started with a profound epiphany back in 2012 on a Chinese train. The founder realized that reading physical newspapers was dying and smartphones were taking over. But more importantly, he realized we shouldn't have to rely on human editors to tell us what to read. Through artificial intelligence and machine learning, an algorithm could perfectly match people to information, exactly the same way Uber matches people to cars. There is a fundamental shift in how social media operates here. For years, platforms like Facebook and YouTube relied on what's called the social graph. You had to build a network, right? Add friends, subscribe to channels, or explicitly search for topics. Well, ByteDance threw that entire concept out the window and built the interest graph. Their algorithm tracks every single micro-interaction. It watches exactly how long you pause on a clip, what you tap, what you swipe past instantly. It doesn't need you to build a social network because within just a few minutes, it understands your deep psychological preferences better than you do.
And this illustrates exactly why it's so impossible to put your phone down. Psychologists actually call it the slot machine effect. When you combine unpredictable, highly personalized rewards with an infinite scroll, the human brain literally loses track of when to stop. But here's the real genius. Because the content is incredibly short, you might consume 100 pieces in a single sitting. Compare that to a platform with long-form media, where you might only watch 2 or 3. Those 100 short clips feed the algorithm a truly massive, unprecedented mountain of behavioral data, making its prediction sharper and more addictive by the second.
Section 2. Mastering the creator economy. Okay, so the crucial point is that they engineered a flawless engagement loop. But an addictive algorithm is completely useless if you don't have enough high-quality content to feed it. So, how did they get the creators to show up in the first place?
ByteDance deployed a genius, highly aggressive, 5-step playbook. Step 1. Lower the barrier to entry by putting professional-grade editing software directly inside the app. Step 2. Create built-in challenges so users don't even have to think of original ideas to participate. Step 3. Give everyday users a massive taste of fame by artificially boosting their early posts to give them that dopamine hit. Step 4. Literally bribe top talent. They approached influencers on other platforms and offered massive cash payouts. We're talking sometimes $1 million just to post a single time. And Step 5. Nurture those top creators with dedicated account managers.
Compare this to the mistakes of the past. Remember Vine? Man, it had the whole world's attention for short-form entertainment, but it fundamentally failed because it ignored its creators. Vine stars once famously asked for $1.2 million each to keep making content. The platform balked, and the app ultimately died because there was basically zero monetization. ByteDance watched this happen and built a native creator marketplace from day one. They essentially blurred the lines between user-generated content and brand deals, allowing creators to make real, life-changing money without ever leaving the ecosystem. Section 3. The Growth Engine. Buying the world. So, with the algorithm perfected and the creators fully onboarded and monetized, they had the product. But what happened next, starting around 2017, was a relentless and unprecedented global expansion strategy. They didn't just want to compete. They wanted to buy the world.
Instead of purely relying on organic growth in the highly competitive United States, ByteDance did something incredibly strategic. They simply opened their checkbook. They acquired an existing app called Musical.ly, which already had a massive, highly active user base of American teenagers. By merging Musical.ly into their own platform, they completely bypassed years of slow market penetration and instantly captured the American youth demographic overnight.
But they didn't stop there. This was arguably their stealthiest, most brilliant marketing trick, the watermark.
Every single piece of media exported from their app has a bouncing watermark locked onto it. They actively encouraged users to take their perfectly edited clips and cross-post them to Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat. In doing so, they basically turned their own users into walking free billboards, infiltrating competitor platforms and pulling millions of curious new users right back to their own app.
Section 4. Data, bans, and dark corners. Explosive, unprecedented growth like that rarely comes without explosive blowback. As the app took over the globe, governments started waking up to the reality of the data machine running beneath the dancing teenagers. This culminated in severe actions, beginning with India outright banning the application, vaporizing 200 million users from the platform literally overnight.
The bans and investigations were sparked by the staggering, almost unbelievable amount of background data the app collects to feed that brilliant algorithm. We are talking about precision location data, keystroke logging, reading clipboard data, meaning it could actually see what you copied and pasted on your phone, along with sweeping app and search histories. This immense data collection triggered severe national security reviews across multiple nations, spanning both the Trump and Biden administrations in the U.S.
What's crucial to understand here is the geopolitical chess match playing out. On one side, lawmakers allege the app accessed surveillance software, pointing to China's national intelligence law, which theoretically compels companies to hand over data to the government without a warrant. On the other side, the company staunchly denies these claims, maintaining that their international servers are located entirely outside of China and managed by a completely separate corporate entity. It became a fierce tug-of-war between theoretical intelligence fears and absolute corporate denials.
But actually, aside from the geopolitics, there is a darker side to an algorithm that is simply too efficient. This is known as the rabbit hole effect. Because the AI is optimized purely for engagement and watch time, it doesn't judge whether the content is good for your mental health. If a vulnerable user, particularly a child, lingers on a sad or depressive clip, the algorithm just assumes they want more. Within minutes, it can inadvertently trap users in extreme, unmoderated content loops, filling their feeds with the bleakest corners of the platform simply because they couldn't look away.
Compounding this issue are the widespread allegations of deliberate content manipulation and censorship. Reports surfaced regarding leaked moderation guidelines that actively restricted content from users deemed undesirable, including those who appeared impoverished or disabled. Furthermore, there have been heavily scrutinized instances of the platform suppressing politically sensitive international topics, like protests or territorial disputes, allegedly to avoid angering powerful governments and to maintain a totally frictionless environment for relentless growth.
Section 5. Beyond just short videos. So, you have this platform wrapped in international controversy, navigating bans, data privacy congressional hearings, and algorithmic dark corners. But here is the ultimate realization. Despite all of this noise, the short app you see on your phone is merely the tip of a much, much larger iceberg.
Just look at what they did to the global music industry. The viral explosion of Lil Nas X's Old Town Road wasn't a fluke. It was a demonstration of absolute power. This platform doesn't just play music in the background anymore. It single-handedly dictates the Billboard charts. It has completely disrupted how record labels operate, to the point where artists are literally writing lyrics specifically designed to trigger algorithmic challenges on the app. They are actively pulling the strings of global pop culture.
And they aren't stopping at music either. They're coming directly for Amazon with an aggressive push into e-commerce. They are rolling out in-app checkouts combined with staggering AI product recognition. If you see an influencer holding a specific brand of coffee or wearing a certain jacket, the AI recognizes the item and allows you to buy it instantly without ever leaving your feed. Backed by massive corporate partnerships, they are completely blurring the lines between social entertainment and impulse shopping.
Let's map out ByteDance's terrifyingly fast expansion. In 2012, they conquered news aggregation. In 2016, they dominated short-form entertainment. By 2020, they were swallowing e-commerce and the music industry. Moving into the future, ByteDance has its sights set on massive, long-form platforms to rival streaming giants, acquiring mobile gaming studios, developing financial tech, educational software, and even enterprise cloud infrastructure. The app was just the Trojan horse to get installed on your phone.
To put the sheer scale of this into perspective, ByteDance currently employs over 110,000 people spread across more than 200 cities globally. This is not a scrappy startup pushing out dance trends. This is a mammoth, highly coordinated organization proving that their founder's original dream of building a tech giant as powerful and borderless as Google is no longer a dream, it is an absolute reality.
Which leaves us with this final perspective-shifting question.
We spent years debating the merits of teenagers lip-syncing and dancing, entirely missing the bigger picture. Was this short-form app ever really about the content, or was it simply the ultimate, irresistible tool designed to build a multi-industry, borderless tech empire?